I'm Susan Lennart, and I've been a silversmith and teaching silversmithing for 20 years. 20 years. And through the years, I have been all over, and I actually really put together a pretty cool nomadic silversmithing tool set, which I'll do another one soon on the whole kit, show you guys everything. But what I do want to say is through the years teaching, one of the things that I noticed is students bringing in really bad pliers. So there's a big difference between super strong, capable pliers and not, pliers that just will not turn your wire or not give you accuracy. It's really interesting because it doesn't have to necessarily do with how expensive they are, but I want to show you today how to take apart a pair of not so great pliers and how to make them valuable. So this is actually the Revere. I use the Revere pliers, love them. They're so strong. They're actually orthodontist tools. They really work well. They're not spring loaded, which is so important, and you can maneuver them around with your hands, which is important for your hands, your carpal tunnel. When you start using a lot of the springs in your wrists, you end up having more trouble with your wrists. For me, it's like I have been doing silversmithing for 40 years, so the more I can keep my body in shape and able to handle these tools, the better off I am, and I can continue to do my work happily without operations. So anyway, I would have to recommend these Revere pliers. If you don't have the Revere pliers, I'm going to show you how to take a bad pair of weak pliers. I see people bring these in. They're not expensive, and they end up not really being effective in working your work. So I'm going to show you how to take these apart and make them effective. Okay, so these are the Revere pliers that I was talking about that I love so much. They're strong. They literally are orthodontist pliers, so they have to be big enough for a grip. There's not spring on there, so you have a lot of control. I mean, they literally are for pulling wire around your teeth, so they're made really well. But this is a Revere plier from any jeweler supply. So these are the pliers that I'm talking about. I have a lot of students that come in, they leave them behind because they just really don't care for them. So one of the curious things I see about it is that pliers are small. There was a strange period of time where I feel like manufacturers were like, oh, we need smaller pliers for women. But what happens is, see, when you're working your pliers, they end up jamming in this way, and you end up getting some calluses. Really, these large ones like this are a better size, but the spring on here is literally going to wear down your carpal tunnel. So this one is a nice size too. So there's a number of different things you can do about these. Some of these work well with really thin gauges, but when you get into the bigger gauges of wire to twist or turn, they don't end up being as effective as you need them to be. So I'm going to show you how to make a plier. This is a nice size. It fits in my hand very nicely. I don't like the spring, but I'm going to show you how to deconstruct this and make it into a really good plier that you can use. Okay, so I'm going to take these pliers here, and I have some things I have to get rid of. So to start with, I'm just going to get right in here, and I'm going to snip off some of this rubber. There actually, I don't know if you guys know this, there actually is a rubber at any hardware store that is liquid, and when you open it, you can re-dip your pliers back in if you want to. But these are pretty easy to take off, and it just exposes all your tools. I like having these raw edged. I like just having the metal on me. It doesn't bother me, it doesn't hurt my hands. If it does, like I said, so you see, we're just really getting into exposing the real metal. It's thinner, it's a little bit more comfortable. I'm just bringing it all the way down this time. So it's a little bit more comfortable, so you, without the extra bulk when you're working on this. Just comes off easy enough, sometimes easier than other times. There. This is nice and comfortable. I like the edges in here. It gives me more room. But now I have these pliers on here. These springs on here. These are actually very, very easy to take off. I'm trying to show you guys too. Really, it's usually just pulling and curling. So if you have trouble getting, usually this is so easy to do. This one is a little troublesome. These are some heavy duty pliers that really you can get in here and snip off any type of wire or material that you need to. And I want to snip this off here. So the way I work these pliers, I'm going to show you to save my wrist again, because I want to do this. I just lean into them and let the pliers snip themselves. So I'm going to grab onto this here. And I'm just going to lean into this with my pliers. Just get a nice grip. And if I have trouble snipping it off, this will give me there we go. We've got enough of a cut here. This will have to be ground down a little bit, but I won't have to remove everything. And now I have a beautiful set of pliers that have a lot of movement. They're comfortable. I work them like this. You can see how beautifully they fit in the palm of my hands. The ends of my steel work beautifully, so I can get in and just do a lot of work with these pliers. They have just become way more useful.